Hi, I'm host Eric, host of Talking with Famous People, and I'm here with famous person Courtney, amongst others. And Courtney has a question. I've got an answer.
I don't have a real question.
Is that a question, Courtney?
What should I eat for dinner?
Salisbury
I also
steak.
have.
The answer is Salisbury steak.
That's
No, thank you.
I'm sorry, the answer is, like the
I don't
Oracle
even
of
know.
Delphi,
Margie.
guaranteed correct.
Margie has a great question. Margie.
Margie, go ahead. Let's hear your question. I'll read it for you if you don't want to say it out loud. What are your theories of what makes a type? Well, I think that I tend to think that in Enneagram tri-types, I understand the ways in which they'll be similar more definitively than I understand MBTI types and the ways that they will be similar. I think that while Taylor and I both self-identify as the ENTP and are very similar in a lot of ways, we're also clearly different subtypes in some capacity. There are fairly marked distinctions between us that a lot of people would say is maybe a TI subtype or an NE subtype. Well, I don't necessarily think there's a single system that's ever going to explain all that stuff. I think what we're noting are similarities that are pretty reliable for most of the population. And then there'll be some subsets of the population where a variant of a model will be more accurate for that subset of the population. And so over time, people develop a bunch of different variants of this, trying to find the one true solution. But there is no one true solution because it's fundamentally a descriptive taxonomy rather than a predictive model. It's it's a tool, a set of words that we use, each in our own kind of unique way to define our own cognition. And then we look for verification in the outside world. We look to see if our understanding of the cognitive function is matched by the data we see out there. But really, our understanding of the cognitive function is ergonomically shaped to our own nature and identity. And as a consequence, if we see confirmation out there, it doesn't prove our model is correct. And when we don't see confirmation, it doesn't mean we need to change our model. It just means we're misunderstanding the nature of the thing. It's not really a model, it's a descriptive taxonomy. Thanks, Elsie. I try to sound smart. That's my most important goal.
I
Better
have a
sound smart,
question.
Eric. Okay, Courtney's got a question.
What's the best way to annoy an ENTP?
Well, here's one way that was attempted earlier today is Demon Windu. Uh, he
Oh my
likes to
gosh, do you even
he likes to he likes to make claims that are are shit I already spiked out. And he'll just make the claim anyway just to annoy me. Historically, I mean, there was a time when it probably got me a few times, maybe a few months back, and then I understood it and dealt with it differently. And then now this time he did a little bit of it, and it didn't go very well for him. And um, I mean, the thing is, it's hard to say because hopefully, as we learn those things, we figure out a solution to them. I wouldn't want to know that there's this treasure trove of techniques people can use to annoy me, to which I have no response to. I would hopefully, if I determined they were there, I'd figure out what the response is. But that does annoy me when people do that, and it annoys me when people ignore what I'm saying because they don't like where it positions them in terms of TI.
That makes sense.
I tend to think that's being unfair.
What's the best type?
What's the best type? I mean, I don't know. It depends what you want out of life, I guess. The best, I think it's a better question is what's the easiest type and what's the hardest type. Even then, it's a hard question to answer, but I do think that INTP is a harder type to be than ENTP.
Harder type to be?
I think it's more difficult to be an INTP than it is to be an ENTP
Why is that?
because of seventh slot SE is more of a burden than seventh slot FI, at least in terms of concrete outcomes.
Hmm. I can see that. Who is your favorite talking with famous person?
Delilah.
I don't ever see her.
Well, she's been on plenty of episodes, so she's definitely uh, a person. She just comes and goes and periodically shows up every once in a while. She and I don't see a whole lot of each other right now, but it's fine. We're still we're still infinitely forever tight, so it doesn't matter. Uh, she's my favorite person in all matter of thing, of course, because she's my daughter, and you don't have any you don't have any other relationship like that. That's the important relationship.
Do you believe in astrology?
I mean, no, but it doesn't mean
No.
no. I not no. I don't believe in astrology, and no, I'm not particularly fond of that set of symbols. But it doesn't mean that I dismiss it, therefore, as useless or meaningless. Do you believe in astrology?
Kind of, in a way. But I've studied it thoroughly.
Do you believe in telekinesis?
I believe it's possible.
How would you? What would
Do
be
you
the
believe in tele?
what? Do I believe in
Do you believe
telekinesis?
in tele? Mhm.
Hmm.
Who is cool, dude?
Not currently. I don't believe it currently exists. But and I don't think it's. I don't think it counts to say that we science it. It's like you got to figure something out.
Well, eventually they'll be able to implant receivers into our brains that could technically receive and send messages.
That's cheating. And that's
That's the
that's
only way.
that's
Yeah.
mind. That's reading minds or whatever. Telekinesis is picking up objects with your mind, like you know.
Oh, I was thinking of telepathy.
Yeah, using it telepathy.
I've seen some kind of videos about it, but I don't think that's real.
I don't think it exists right now. I think that somehow it seems nice to imagine a world in which you could figure out some sort of trick that would allow you to do that.
What's the difference between N types and S types?
Well, I think that the main difference is intellectual playfulness. S types are much more practical in general, and they don't like unstructured intellectual play. So they don't want they're going to come in and present their thing. They don't want you at step two of it to be already suggesting things and questioning shit. They want to present their whole thing, and then you know like you go, okay, well, that's nice. But the thing is, they're not interested in more abstraction for its own sake. And I think ends in general are. I think the Enneagram is a little bit um, preferable as a typing mechanism because people, it makes sense to me that everybody would respond to those three negative emotions of fear, anger, and shame, and that there would be those three possible responses to it. Anger to anger, peacemaking, or remove yourself. There's not really a whole lot of other responses to it. It's going to fall into the category of fight, make peace, or distance yourself.
For me, it depends on the varying aggression that's exerted at me. If somebody's like exceedingly aggressive at me, then I'll fight back.
I think
But
you
if
have to.
somebody just pops off some snarky comment or something, then I'll just like, whatever.
I think you have to look at the little examples and ask yourself, what do I say to myself? Oh, I went too far in. Like, oh, I shouldn't have made peace there. I should have fought. Or do you say, oh, I shouldn't have been so rough and tumble with them. I should have been more peaceful. If you're likely to say the former, then you're probably a peacemaker. If you're likely to say the latter, then you're probably a fighter. And if you're likely to say,
That's a good point.
I don't want any part of this, then you're probably the third one.
What are you are a fighter?
Yeah, in other words, I'll tend to err on the side of fighting, being too fighty, and something I've worked on. I think I've gotten a lot better at it actually. It depends on my mood. Sometimes takes over. I'm in a bad mood or something.
It kind of keeps things interesting.
Well, I am a little bit volatile. I have been. I
I
think
mean,
it's a
we
fair.
can't all just be peacemakers.
That's true. If we were all peacemakers, why? What a peaceful world it would be, and there'd be nothing good to watch on television. Thanks for watching Talking with Famous People. I've been host Eric. My friend here has been host Courtney, and we've been talking question and answers. And there you have it.